Question 1. Mr. Eduardo manages a checkpoint firewall at a multinational financial institution. He recently noticed that legitimate traffic is intermittently dropped between two internal subnets. Upon investigation, he found that both source and destination zones are considered internal in the security policy, and there's cleanup rule allowing all traffic at the bottom. However, logs indicate that the drops occurred due to implied rules. Which corrective should Mr. Eduardo take to resolve this issue without compromising the internal zone segmentation requirements? Disable the cleanup rule to let implied rules take precedence. B. Create specific rule above the implied rules to allow the traffic explicitly. C. Modify the implied rules via global properties to accept internal-to-internal traffic. D. Change the zone definitions to external to forceful inspection. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Implied rules are auto-generated and enforced before user-defined rules unless overridden. Now, even though there is a cleanup rule, implied rules still take precedence in their order of evaluation. The correct method to ensure desired internal traffic is not dropped is to create an explicit rule above implied rules, tailored to allow specific internal subnet communication. Modifying global properties. C. Could reduce segmentation. Cleanup rules. A last resort. Ref R Security Policy Management Admin Guide. Rule matching order. Question 2. Which of the following best describes the purpose of a stealth rule in a checkpoint firewall policy? A. It allows administrators to bypass firewall inspection using SSH or Telnet. B. It hides the security gateway itself from reconnaissance and direct attacks. C. It prevents the smart console from connecting to the management server. D. It enables inspection of internal to external encrypted VPN traffic. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. A stealth rule is a best practice in checkpoint policies, placed at the top of the access control policy denying direct traffic to the security gateway itself. This protects the firewall from direct scanning, spoofing, or attack attempts. It doesn't block legitimate management access like Smart Console when properly allowed above it. R80 Security Policy Fundamentals, Rule-Based Best Practices. Question 3. Mr. Aziz is setting up a site-to-site VPN between a head office and a branch location. He configures encryption domains and sets up the VPN community in Smart Console. However, when testing the tunnel, phase 1 completes, but traffic doesn't flow. After reviewing logs, he notices that packets match rule with a drop and the comment here domain must match what is the most likely cause of this issue. A. VPN pre-shared key is incorrect. B. The VPN community is not defined in the Smart dashboard. C. The encryption domains do not align between the two pairs. D. The VPN tunnel interface is not bound to the correct physical interface. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. A common reason for traffic failing after phase 1 is successful is a main mismatch. Both gateways must define matching encryption domains for VPN negotiation and traffic routing. If domains differ, e.g., overlap or misconfigured subnets, the firewall will drop traffic due to mismatched expectations. Pre-shared key errors it would prevent phase 1 entirely. Ref. VPN admin guide for our encryption domain configuration. Question 4. Which statement best describes the role of inline layers in our access control policies? A. Are firewall layers that override NAT configurations. B. Are sequential security policies applied only to VPN tunnels. C. They enable sub-rule sets within rule offering granular inspection. D. They replace traditional policy packages with multiple security zones. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Inline layers allow a single rule to expand into a sub-policy, enabling granular control based on users, applications, content, or actions. This modularizes policy management and allows delegation to different admins. They do not affect NAT, nor are they tied solely to VPNs. B. Ref R.10 Security Management Administration Guide. Inline layer concepts. Question 5. An organization uses ClusterXL in high availability mode. During maintenance, one cluster member was rebooted. However, failover did not occur and traffic stopped flowing. Logs show no failover trigger. What is the most plausible explanation? A cluster control protocol (CCP) was using unmonitored interfaces. B. The standby member had a low firewall rule priority. C. The state synchronization daemon was misconfigured. D. Dynamic routing table was locked by the primary gateway. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Clusters will use CCP to monitor interface and member health. If non-monitored interfaces, e.g. ones not selected in the cluster topology, go down, failover won't trigger. This is known pitfall. Option C concerns sync but doesn't prevent failover. Rule priorities. B. Do not impact hard decisions. Ref. Clusters R.40 admin guide. CCP and monitored interfaces. Question 6. Which of the following tools provides real-time visibility into connections currently passing through a checkpoint security gateway, A OELSDAP, B Smart Event, C Smart View Monitor, D CP Config? Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Smart View Monitor allows administrators to view real-time statistics and connection data for gateways, tunnels, and system performance. A shows kernel memory usage, not traffic. Smart Event. B is for analyzing historical logs. CP Config. D is for configuration settings like SIC, not monitoring. Ref. Monitoring with Smart View Monitor. Admin Guide. Question 7. Mr. Lin is configuring a new host object for a secure application server. He wants to apply NAT identity awareness and limit its accessibility to certain users. Which of the following object types should Mr. Lin use to accommodate all these features? A. Host object. B. Group object. C. Network object. D. Access role object. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. An access role object combines users, machines, and network locations, allowing administrators to define rules based on identity and network context. This is the only object type supporting identity awareness plus network policies. Host A and Network C objects lack user context. Ref. Identity Awareness Admin Guide. Access role capabilities. Question 8. Which of the following occurs after a policy is installed on a security gateway? A. Implied rules are disabled unless explicitly enabled. B. Gateway reboots and applies kernel-level filtering. C. The compiled rule base is loaded into the inspection engine. D. The smart dashboard pushes a signature to threat card. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. During policy installation, Smart Console compiles the rule base into inspect format, sends it to the gateway, and loads it into the kernel's inspection engine. There is no reboot. B. Implied rules are always active unless adjusted in global properties. Threat cloud. D is not updated during this step. Refor. X policy installation workflow. Admin guide. Question 9. Which of the following best explains the use of clishing Gaia? A. It is a GUI wrapper used only for interface IP address assignment. B. It's an interactive shell allowing simplified command execution and configuration. C. It replaces Smart Console for managing security policies. D. It allows packet-level inspection similar to CDump. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Clish is the CLI shell of Gaia OS designed to simplify configuration of routing, interfaces, user roles, and more. It supports command auto-completion, config locking, and role-based management. It's not a GUI or packet inspection tool. Ref. Gaia OS admin guide. Clish shell commands. Question 10. Is Sandra enabled identity awareness and created access role rules in her policy? However, users are not matched properly and are denied access. She confirms agents are installed on clients. What might be the root cause of this issue? A. Access role was incorrectly applied to a group instead of a host. B. Identity sources were not selected in the identity awareness configuration. C. NAT rules are taking precedence over identity rules. D. Stealth rule is blocking traffic from identity collector. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. For identity awareness to function, administrators must configure and select at least one identity source, e.g. add query identity collector, captive, portal. Without this, access roles won't resolve users. Stealth rules, D, don't affect collectors internally. Ref. Identity awareness admin guide. Identity source configuration. Question 11. Mr. Trevor is conducting a rule-based audit on a checkpoint security gateway. He discovers that a rule near the top allows traffic from any source to any destination on port 80 and 443, and the hit count is disproportionately high. There are more granular rules placed below this one, but they rarely get triggered. What is the most effective corrective measure you should take? A. Increase the priority of implied rules to override broad permissions. B. Enable rule acceleration using SecureXL. C. Move more specific rules above the broad. Any rule. D. Configure identity awareness on the gateway. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Rule order is top-down, so general rules placed above specific rules cause those below to be skipped. Moving granular rules above ensures better policy enforcement and visibility. Rule acceleration. B. Improves performance, not logic. Identity awareness. D. Doesn't address policy ordering. Ref. Security policy admin guide. Rule matching and optimization. Question 12. An organization has configured a second security gateway but is encountering an error during policy installation stating a license does not support this feature. They are using evaluation licenses for both gateways. What is the most likely root cause? A. Evaluation licenses do not support the creation of more than one administrator. B. Evaluation licenses are not bound to MAC addresses. C. Evaluation licenses are limited to a single gateway per management server. D. Policy packages are only supported with full subscription licenses. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Evaluation licenses typically support only one gateway per management server, and exceeding that limit causes policy push failures. This is a known restriction. Full production licenses support multiple gateways and features. ESA licensing guide. License types and limitations. Question 13. Is ASIA's troubleshooting a NAT issue where internal users cannot access an external ERM application? Static NAT is defined on the firewall and logs show successful rule match, but the destination server never responds. Which of the following should she check first? A. If a hide NAT rule is overriding the static NAT. B. Whether ARP entries for the public IP are correctly configured on the firewall. C. If the gateway is in bridge mode instead of routed mode. D. If ETNO is encrypting the traffic and routing it. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. In static NAT, the firewall must respond to ARP for the translated IP address, or upstream routers won't forward the packet to the gateway. This is common misconfiguration. Hide NAT A is not relevant here. Ref R NAT admin guide. Static NAT and proxy ARP configuration. Question 14. Istaran is trying to enforce user-based rules using access roles. It has configured LDAP integration and selected add query as the identity source. However, logs show that user identities are not being resolved. What is a likely configuration issue? A. Access roles are not compatible with add query. B. The security gateway lacks domain controller credentials. C. Identity awareness must be manually installed from CLI. D. Only captive portal can resolve user identity and access roles. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Add query requires domain controller credentials to perform LDAP queries for user login events. Without this, the gateway cannot associate it with usernames. Access roles work with multiple identity sources. Ref. Identity Awareness Admin Guide. Add query setup. Question 15. Mr. Guillemot created a new administrator in Smart Console named Policy Admin to delegate policy rule changes. However, after logging in, the new admin is unable to push policy changes or view gateway logs. What is the most appropriate correction? A. Assign the read-only all profile to the user. B. Assign the security policy manager role and enable log permissions. C. Allow SSH access in the firewall rule base. D. Recreate the user using Gaia WebView instead of Smart Console. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Role-based administration in R allows defining granular permissions. Security Policy Manager allows rule editing but not log access unless explicitly granted. The read-only role A prohibits changes. Ref. Admin and user management. Role profiles in Smart Console. Question 16. The traditional approach to monitoring has evolved, particularly in smart event use. What is the primary advantage of using Smart Event over basic log viewing in Smart Console? It automates the conversion of logs to Excel. B. It provides real-time alerts and correlation-based threat analysis. C. It allows NAT rule analysis within the same interface. D. It provides packet capture functionality similar to Wireshark. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Smart Event offers advanced real-time threat correlation alerts and customizable dashboards. It consolidates logs into actionable intelligence. It does not perform packet capture. D. Or convert logs to Excel. Ref. Smart Event RM and guide. Capabilities and use cases. Question 17. Which tier in Checkpoint's three-tier architecture is responsible for storing and distributing policies to security gateways? A. Smart Dashboard. B. Security Gateway. C. Security Management Server. D. Threat Emulation Appliance. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. The Security Management Server handles policy storage, compilation, and distribution to gateways. Smart Dashboard A is a client interface. The gateway enforces policies, not stores them. Ref or architecture overview. Three-tiered architecture. Question 18. Which of the following best explains the function of the compliance blade? A. It verifies that signatures in Threat Cloud are up to date. B. It blocks suspicious downloads in real time. C. It scans the current configuration against best practices and regulations. D. It performs packet inspection to detect anomalies. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. The compliance blade checks configurations against regulatory and industry best practices. The GPCI provides actionable insights, not real-time blocking or packet inspection. Ref. Compliance blade admin guide. Best practice analysis. Question 19. Is Preya configured multiple VPN tunnels to various remote sites? She noticed that packets are exiting through unintended tunnels. Logs show that traffic is matching a more general EAR main. What corrective action will most effectively resolve the issue? A. Set up permanent tunnels on all peer communities. B. Disable aggressive mode in the VPN settings. C. Refine the encryption domains for each VPN pair. D. Increase the MTU to avoid fragmentation. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. When encryption domains overlap, traffic may match the wrong VPN pair. Refining the domains ensures proper routing of traffic through the correct tunnel. MTU and aggressive mode are unrelated. Ref. VPN admin guide. Encryption domain specificity. Question 20. Which of the following actions can be safely performed from CLISH without risking kernel-level firewall disruption? A. Restarting the bibliothèque. B. Changing routing table entries. C. Updating its signatures. D. Modifying threat prevention policy. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. CLISH is used for system-level changes such as interface configuration, routing, and static routes. It does not control kernel-level service or IPS updates. Ref. Gaia admin guide. CLISH versus expert mode. Question 21. Isteromid, a network security administrator, is configuring automatic hide NAT for internal clients accessing the internet. After deploying the policy, he observes that only one client can access the internet while others are dropped with a NAT failure log. The internal network uses private IPs and single external IP is allocated by the ISP. What is the most probable reason for the failure? A. Hide NAT must be configured per user instead of per network. B. Static NAT was also configured and took precedence. C. The interface selected for hide NAT is incorrect or missing. D. NAT pool size must be increased manually for hide NAT. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Hide NAT requires specifying the correct external interface for IP translation. If the wrong interface or any is selected without routable IP, NAT fails. Only one client may succeed using non-reliable IP apping. Static NAT doesn't conflict here with ArtNAT admin guide. Hide NAT with interface binding. Question 22. Which of the following best reflects the function of the anti-bot blade in Checkpoint R? It blocks applications like BitTorrent based on signatures. B. It prevents exfiltration by detecting bot CC communication. C. It terminates VPN tunnels if malware is detected. D. It scans downloaded files for malicious code using sandboxing. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The anti-bot blade is designed to detect and block command and control CC communications, preventing data exfiltration or secondary payloads. It uses behavioral and signature-based analysis. Sandboxing. D is done by threat emulation. Ref. Threat prevention admin guide. Anti-bot functionality. Question 23. Is Beatrice delegating security policy tasks among 3 teams? She wants the web apps team manage and IT-related rules in one policy layer without access TPN or threat prevention layers. What should she implement to enforce this? A. Create shared policy package. B. Assign different permission profiles with domain separation. C. Use policy layers and assign per layer admin roles. D. Use Smart Dashboard instead of Smart Console for flexibility. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. R introduces layer-based policy delegation, allowing different admins to manage specific layers of a unified policy. This enables role separation while maintaining a unified rule base. Smart Dashboard. D is obsolete for R+. Referex Policy Management Guide. Layered Policy Architecture. Question 24. Mr. Debak is configuring the checkpoint gateway in a closed network without internet access. He notices logs with errors related to TRL filtering and application identification failures. He suspects that the app control blade isn't working as expected. What action should he take to restore functionality in this environment? A. Disable Secure Excel to allow app control to operate offline. B. Use the offline application database in Smart Console. C. Connect the management server to the internet for URL categorization. D. Import custom application control package from Checkpoint. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. In air-gapped or closed environments, application control and URL filtering require manually importing offline categorization databases. Without them, app control can't resolve apps URLs. Internet access C is not always possible in secure environments. RefR Threat Prevention Guide. Offline app control. Question 25. Istrikina configures ClusterX between 2 gateways. During testing, failover does not occur when he unplugs one monitored interface. CCP packets continue to flow through another link. Why is failover not triggered? A. The standby node sync interface has higher priority. B. Unplugged interface is not selected as monitored interface in topology. C. CCP is not encrypted, leading to failover delays. D. Smart event must be configured to detect physical link changes. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Only interfaces marked as monitored in the cluster topology trigger failover upon link loss. Unmonitored interfaces are ignored even if critical as CCP continues via remaining paths, preventing failover. Ref. ClusterX set R and min guide. Monitored interface settings. Question 26. Which action should an administrator take to prevent Smart Console login to the security management server from unauthorized IP addresses? A. Define allowed GUI clients in the Smart Console global properties. B. Restrict IP access using Gaia WebUI web access settings. C. Set Smart Console to read-only mode. D. Limit concurrent login sessions via user roles. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Administrators must manually define allowed GUI clients specific IP addresses in Smart Console under global properties. Trusted clients to prevent unauthorized access. Gaia WebUI access settings. B. Are unrelated to Smart Console Ref. Security Management Server admin guide. GUI client restrictions. Question 27. Which of the following commands is used in the client to verify if a policy was successfully loaded into the firewall kernel? A. CPU fwtap pconfig. D. fwiniter. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The wtap command displays the install policy name, number of rules, and policy installation data time, confirming whether the policy is currently active in the kernel. CPView shows performance stats, not policy info. Ref. CLI reference guide. Policy verification commands. Question 20. Which of the following traffic types will not benefit from secure acceleration and instead be handled by the slower path at ATEs to traffic with static NAT? B. Echo requests within C. Standard TCP web browsing with a default rule. D. Internal DNS requests bypassing firewall inspection. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. VPN encrypted traffic, including over VPN, is not accelerated by SecureXL due to required encryption in the kernel. It must go through the slow path FF. SecureXL focuses on accelerating unencrypted sessions. Ref. SecureXL admin guide. Traffic path determination. Question 29. Mr. Tomas is deploying a script that dynamically changes IPS in use by internal systems based on risk score. He wants firewall rules to adjust automatically based on this. Which feature should he use? A. Rule expiration in Smart Console. B. Dynamic objects. C. NAT templates. E. VPN directional matching. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Dynamic objects allow scripts or external apps to modify firewall rule behavior in real time without reinstalling policy. This supports automation and rapid response. Rule expiration is static and time-based. RAUR guide. Dynamic object management. Question 30. Which method ensures the most complete backup of the checkpoint configuration, including logs, policies, and certificate data? A. Snapshot. B. Migrate export. C. Manual Gaia config backup. D. Logs export from Smart View Tracker. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. A snapshot captures OS configuration, databases, and logs, making it ideal for disaster recovery. Migrate export. B is used for version upgrades, but excludes logs. Ref. Backup and restore guide. Snapshot versus migrate export comparison.